Alright guys, if you suffer from motion sickness, I implore you to look away for the next 3 seconds. Here we go. Alright, that's done. I will turn that off now. This is a huge snapshot. In fact, it's so huge, the world just seems a bit bigger now. No, I'm kidding. It's the camera distance attribute they just added. You can now change the camera distance. Clearly, this is all related to the happy ghast and the fact that it changes your perspective if you use F5. I'll touch on all of that in a little bit, but I want to talk about waypoints because waypoints have been added. You can see waypoints in the locator bar that I've got tracked. Normally, I cover all the features sequentially in my videos, but I think what I'll go over here is the stuff that I've made, especially all of this waypoint stuff that is fantastic. So what have I got going on here? First of all, if you want to enable locator bar stuff, you have to go into experiments. It is an experiment thing. Show the direction of other players in multiplayer. That is only one small instance of how this works because I've got this tracking everything now if I want it to. So I'll create a new world here. Gonna recreate my entire death location system. So here we go. You can see the chat UI elements are a little bit broken here, especially with maps, as well as many other things, but that's already been acknowledged by Mojang. So I've got something running here, and what I'll do is go over to this massive mountain. Oh my god. That's big. I mean, massive. I mean, no. Here's the seed if you want it. Of course, this is only on snapshot 25W15A. And let me just grab a few things. Grass, litter, iron ore, stone, glow lichen, short grass. And I will now proceed to die on top of this mountain. Now respawn, and you can see that I've got this strange little dot on my locator bar. Now normally locator bars are used to track other players in multiplayer. However, I have now utilized this entire concept with these commands is going to track where I've died. Now I'm in creative mode, I'll just fly over there. In fact, I'll just go into spectator mode. The dot now is in a solid color, so I'm not too far away. If I go over here, you can see there's an armor stand that is slightly invisible. My death location point has been tracked by this waypoint system. And put simply, what waypoints allow you to do is track things that are not just players, but any entity that can hold that attribute. So let me just explain how all of this works. Let me go over to these pumpkins, and what I'll do once again is /kill, and all of a sudden that locator bar opens up, and we've got a different dot. It's a different color. It's all randomized, and I can go over to this side. It's still a little bit faded out, but if I get closer, it should become solid, and it does. And that's where it is. This is where I died, and I can collect all my items like so. Now this works because I've provided the armor stand with a tracking ability. So back on my test world, I have this locator bar tracking all of these villagers, and these are not players. These are villagers, as you know. So here I've got a list of waypoints that I have tracked. I've got librarian, farmer, librarian, villager, weaponsmith, me, and farmer. You can change the color and fade times. That's not really necessary. All you need to do to get something tracked on this locator bar is to modify the attributes. So let's say I wanted to track this golem here. /attribute @n, type snow golem, waypoint transmit. So it's going to transmit a waypoint to a player. Base set, right now it's 0. You want to make it the maximum value, which is 60 million, like so. And now it's given a waypoint. So now it's this guy over here. If I move this way, it's being tracked with this sort of skin color tone. If I move my camera this way, you can see it's being tracked. So that's all you need to do. Now, this is a fantastic system that Mojang have worked out. This is all I wanted. Not a fan of the fact that it replaces the XP bar in most cases, but I'm enjoying this command utility that's provided. I think it's something the game has always needed. Some way to track dynamically locations of things, not just players, entities, but also locations dynamically. The game rule for using the locator bar also exists on Java Edition. You can turn this on to true or false. If you switch it off, all of the waypoints will obviously be removed, but they will be saved because it is all stored in entity data. So if you turn it back on, they will still exist and can be utilized. Now you're probably wondering, flower. No, but seriously, how many entities can this thing track? Well, I have that answer for you. On the Twitch live stream. Okay. We're gonna turn this off. On the Twitch live stream, I've made a mess, the stream of white mess here in the water. But you can see here that I've got everything here tracked. In fact, it lagged so much that I had to restart this world for the bar to refresh. It kept deleting the bar, but here I have about 6,000, 5,500 happy ghasts that I've spawned in this flat world. I'll demonstrate how I did this. So now it's just completely covered the bar. And if I go into survival mode, my XP level is just, it's not there. So I'll kill all 6,000 still being tracked. But here all I'm doing is I'm sprint playering an armor stand on a a flat world, and I'm filling all of the land underneath me with a waterlogged dry ghast. Let's see if I can fly over here and activate this. Where's my lever? So I do this armor stand is going to fill in the area around it with more happy ghasts that are waterlogged. Oh, here we go. I didn't mean for this to happen, but it's already happening. I've got nearly 2,000 now. They're still growing. The number is increasing by the second. Now, the problem with doing this in the super flat world is the fact that you can't actually create waterlogged dried ghasts. In fact, if you try to put a layer of water above these guys, it's just gonna kill them all. No! No! Poor dudes! I'm so sorry. Oh, man. They're all dying, which is why I needed that command system over there to do it for me. Just want to let you know, if this is something that you want to try, this is what you need to do. Or simply run a /fill command with dry ghast and waterlogged. If that's something that you want to do, that's how it works. All right, let's talk about the dry ghast. So to find a dry ghast, you need to find a soul sand valley and locate them within nether fossil structures. I can't seem to calculate the probability of finding one of these guys in these structures. So I think it's like 1 in 4, which means there's a low chance of this nether fossil spawning a dry ghast. Where is it? It's this one, isn't it? Oh, and we found one. There's another dry ghast in there. There is no dry ghast in there. There is one here. So what is that? 3 and 4. There's another fossil here. 3 and 5. Let's see this one. 4 and 6. 5 and 7. 5 and 8. 6 out of 9. And 6 out of 10. I've got a few more here, actually. There's 7 out of 11. 7 out of 12. 8 out of 13. 8 out of 14. 8 out of 15. Maybe it is 50%. I don't know. So as you already know, you can craft these guys. You can also punch them. You can also leave them in the nether. You cannot hydrate them in the nether, but with significant force you can. The classic set block command. Let's give it some water. And there you have it. It is now hydrating itself. Random tick speed does not seem to work in Java, even though it works in preview edition. So all you need to do here, if you want to speed it up, is use /tick rate. We'll up it to the maximum value. Over time, it will get happier. Eventually. And now it's happy. He's a deflating balloon. It also seems to take a lot more snowballs right now to feed this guy and turn him into a bigger ghastling. Because in Bedrock Edition, it took like 10. But here it seems to take 100. I'm still going. There we go. He's happy now. Let's give it a harness. And now I'm riding him. Why are you hurt? You may be wondering how these guys interact with actual ghasts as well. So let's summon an actual ghast about 10 blocks away. And is he interested? No, unless you're in survival mode, after which it will attack you. Some final things to note is that there is now a couple of new commands that you might find useful. So /version prints out the server version. You can see I've got 25W15A, the latest snapshot. This is the build time. And here we have the data pack and resource pack numbers, which is exactly the stuff that I need to know. Because I can't seem to ever remember what these numbers are. They change every week. And is it stable? No, it's a snapshot. F3V prints out the client information, which is usually the same as the server information if you're running a vanilla client. If you're on a server, this is probably going to be different. There's also this fantastic command, datapack create, which allows you to create a data pack for your current world. And finally, you might notice in this snapshot, there are some glaring GUI problems and rendering issues. I don't know if this is related, but if you go into potions, all of this stuff isn't working. All the tipped arrows are doing the same thing. I also noticed that the map is very blurry. This has to be related to what they're doing right now. But I wouldn't worry too much. In fact, I really like the change that they're doing here. This is a good direction for the game. It's just that they only have like 2 months to release this. So we'll see how this snapshot series pans out. My shadow is cut off. Thanks for watching. Hopefully they drop new features like they did with the previous one. I don't even know how eager people are for this snapshot because everyone seems to be talking about chicken jockeys online. I don't know.